already knew women had issues and that they needed to be helped, but I realized how deep the problem really is. I realized, like, let's say this is where women need to go. And this is the absolute bottom that a woman can be at. I thought that women might have been right here. I thought they might have been right here and they just needed some help to get here. But after that, I realized that women down here, instead of me thinking they were here, needing to go here, I see that they're here instead. That they're worse than what I had originally thought.
Real life. If it ain't real life, just ain't real. Real life street stars. You know what time it is. Real life street stars, man. We are in here with a reoccurring guest. I think y'all by now know. We got Princella, Pastor P. Do you got any other nicknames that you go by?
You know, they call me the Queenmaker.
The Queenmaker. The Queenmaker. How many queens have you made, do you feel like, since you started?
Whew, thousands. I'm spanning across the globe. So I've changed a lot of lives. Because, you know, being a queen is about being sovereign and being able to stand on your own and govern your own life and use critical thinking capabilities. You know, so I've really changed a lot of people's lives from all over the world. So I can't put an exact number on it, but I know it's in the thousands.
No, that's real. That's real. Now, you know, when you first started the YouTube game, right? Mm-hmm. And you start making your mark. And now, you know, you fast forward and you're one of those people that's sought after, looked after as far as being an orator, speaking, giving advice. How has your life changed since the first time you've been on YouTube till now?
Oh, it's drastically changed. You know, I used to drive trucks, and prior to doing the internet thing, it was like I was driving trucks for 6 years, and I was like, it's about time for me to stop doing this because I got so many other skills and talents that I'm really not tapping into. And to make a long story short, I was making about $1,100 a week driving trucks. And I bought a car the last day of the month, December 2022. 2023, 3 days after that, I ended up getting fired from that job.
You got fired from truck driving?
Yeah, they said laid off, but to me, it's fired because they come to me talking about, oh, you know, we ain't really got no work, so we gonna have to let you go. You know, rates done changed and all that. And so to me, it's the same thing. Laid off, fired. At the end of the day, I still ain't got no job.
Right.
So I knew that I didn't want to go work for nobody else after that, and I just was gonna put full time into what I was doing. So this is when I wrote the book, when I had finished working the book, 41 Shades of Men. And that year I made more money than I ever made in my entire life. I made over $250,000 that year.
You know, it's so funny. I seen a quote, right? Somebody said they started working for themselves when they realized it don't take no hour to make $20. And I said, damn, that shit was surreal. I said, damn, that's a good ass point. Yeah. There's a lot of things you can do to make.
Oh yeah, you know, the fact of the matter is, as long as people are around, you're going to have opportunity, because it's the people who are the opportunity, which people don't realize. So there's so many different things that people will pay you for. It doesn't matter if you draw, make content, make shoes, no matter what, there's always an audience or somebody that's willing to pay for your services or your talent. You know, and a lot of people just have not figured out their lane and how to offer their value to other people, you know, because that's really what it's about. And so for me, what it was for me is I just translated all of the information and wisdom that I learned in my life to help women specifically navigate the toxic waters of their relationship life, to give them some more clarity and some more power. And that's what has elevated me. And it's been a wonderful journey so far.
Right. Mm-hmm. Now, you do come back. I see you with the blingery going. So the YouTube streets must be treating you well. Talk about the transformation. You know what I'm saying? We do see you glowing up. We see the glow up.
Yes.
Talk about that.
Well, life is about transforming. So the more you learn, the more you grow, the more you tap into unrealized parts of yourself. So when I first started this thing, it's always been about women's empowerment for me. But I learned so much going along, and what I've come to realize, part of the glow up for me is realizing that women need a lot more help than they're actually getting, because their issues are not just surrounded by men. Most of their issues lie within themselves. And coming to realize that the message has taken on a new evolutionary path, in a direction that I didn't even know how deep it could be. But at this stage in the ball game, with leadership development and things like that, we're evolving into speaking at conferences and events and things like that to really, really hone down where women need to really transform to help themselves, because I think we get really lost in this idea of relationships. So where I've evolved into is really more of a spiritual direction, as opposed to just focusing on relationships, if that makes sense.
That's good, because I was actually going to ask you, right? If anybody's followed you, right, you have some quote unquote controversial, if you will, thoughts about men versus women or men and women. Mm-hmm. Have any of those thoughts or the things that you preach, has any of those changed or evolved, right? I remember watching a Malcolm X movie, and he said that, at first he was so centered on only black people till he traveled the world and seen that other white people believe in Islam just like they do. Mm-hmm. And so he evolved, and that's kind of what changed him. Now that you speaking to many women, many men about these scenarios that you preach, has your stance changed, or is it still the same?
It's still the same, but it has evolved, because when I began doing this, I've always saw it in phases, and I've always saw it as an evolutionary path. And in my mind, I've always known that women needed a lot of help, that women needed a lot of development. But in order to start that process, women needed to know about men, because ultimately women don't know anything about men. They think they do, but they don't. They know nothing. And so a lot of women have their identities wrapped up in men. So speaking about men are really only like 10% of the equation. Women are 90% of the equation. So after I talked about men are men. They can't be anything more than that. They're not going to change. They're not going to become cats, dogs. They're not going to evolve into women. So after I finish speaking about men, there's really nothing else to tell women about men that I haven't already told them. So once that conversation is over, now we have to turn the mirror towards women. And what you find out is that in these dynamics, 90% of the discussion has to be on women. And I find that women have a lot of problems. I find that women are very, very narcissistic, and they do not realize it. I think women lack a lot of self-awareness. And how I've taken my message, because I've got a little comedic edge, I find a way to show women themselves in a way that not many people can get women to admit that they are wrong. I have a way of getting women to admit, damn, I'm a terrible person, right? I've gotten women to see how terrible they are as friends, as relationship partners. Women are terrible relationship partners, right? But, you know, for me, it's about the truth. This is not me taking sides, because I believe that the world is in shambles. I believe that the communities are jacked up. I believe that, and all of this has to do with human behavior and how the sexes relate to each other and how the sexes relate to the planet. So it's not all on men. Men have their things that's wrong with them.
For sure.
I spoke about that.
But the question I was going to say is that with men, right, I feel like as a man, we're held accountable at almost every turn, right? Your mama holds you accountable. Your friends hold you accountable. Everybody kind of holds you accountable. Do you see the same type of path for women?
No.
Okay.
No.
So
I think women are allowed to be, they're allowed to be delusional. They're allowed to not be disciplined. See, give you an example. If a boy child is crying and a girl child is crying, if he fell and she fell, they're gonna look at him and be like, boys don't cry, this, that, and the other one. And they'll just look at her, that's what girls do, they're just emotional. Let them cry, let them do this. Well, that's bad, because as girls grow older, they never know how to control and govern their emotions. They're allowed to allow any emotion, anger, frustration, sadness, depression, no matter what, they're allowed to express it however they want to express it. I've also come to the conclusion that, well, let me back up, because everybody knows that I date women.
Right.
And when it comes to me speaking about relationship dynamics, a lot of the rebuttals always say, well, lesbian relationships have so much more violence. They only say that because they're thinking about a relationship where a man might be putting his hands on a woman. They're not including the other side of the equation, where women are putting their hands on men and men are not calling the cops.
True, yeah.
Women are very violent. A woman will put her hands on a man. She will hit him, spit in his face, call him all kinds of names, and everything is totally fine. Women are allowed to do this, and nobody should say anything about it. Now, these women they will be in these relationships and they will hit a man, and they will take that same behavior and they'll take it to a lesbian relationship. See, it's the same person, same behavior.
Right.
Right? But it's looked at as different because the man is stronger and he's expected to hold himself. But a lot of times in a lot of these relationships, women are extremely narcissistic and violent. And this is what I have discovered as I continue to work with women. And so what I realize is that women actually want men to be slaves. They actually want men to be their personal slaves.
But you did preach that men were slaves in our first interview.
Yes, they are. They are slaves, but who are they slaves to? They're slaves to corporations, right? They're slaves to the military. They're slaves in everything that they do. Their whole purpose was for them to work for somebody. And that's what you see. The man then is a slave to his sex drive. And by a man being a slave to his sex drive, he turns around and becomes a slave to a woman who expects him to be a slave to his sex drive and her. So she uses that as a manipulation tool to try to get that man to do whatever she wants him to do. Well, here's the problem. Women don't live in reality. A lot of women are very, very, very delusional. And so they have these ideas about men in their head, what they want these men to be. It's like they got a movie and they have a cast, and there's a role for this knight in shining armor that's gonna sweep her off her feet and worship her and only her for eternity. His eyes see nobody else but her. His phallus sees nobody else but her. And so she wants that man. She finds a man that she likes. She creates this picture. She's driven by sex, and she wants to trap that man to worship her for eternity. And if he does not play to every single thing that she has in her mind, she wants to blow up the world. She wants to set off a detonator to destroy everything around her if things don't go exactly her way. And so what I come to realize is that a lot of men are struggling, trying to placate to the delusions of women. Not only are they struggling trying to placate to the delusions of women, they are still struggling trying to control just their own biological urges and their neurological messages that are going. There's a lot of things that are going on with men, right? And because women ultimately don't care. Women don't care. Women say they like men. Women say they want men. But I've come to discover that women don't like men. And the only reason that they're dealing with men is because they have this addiction to sex and power. And they feel like they can get a man to do what they want them to do and placate to their ego. That's the only reason why they're dealing with him. But if a man starts talking, if he starts expressing himself, women will write it off as mansplaining. They'll write it off as misogyny, all of that, no matter what. So there's a lot of frustration that's going on with men because a male is a male. Everything that I said about males has not changed. That is still the same.
It hasn't changed, right? But
Right.
I do feel like men will definitely receive this version way better because now it's like you're actually saying a lot of the things that men have been saying, like the accountability piece, like I feel like because men don't want to get killed, they don't even speak on it. Like it's almost like an unwritten rule. A man will walk in and he'd be like, man. You know what I'm saying? But they won't speak on it because they get killed online. They get called sassy. They get called whatever. And so you have now stepped into this role and we're sitting back like, shit, go ahead. We rooting you on now because now you have taken on the role to, like you're saying, kind of like the Kevin Samuels was quote unquote trying to get them to see what we see, but we just can't express because we get killed for it.
Well, and it's not only that y'all get killed for it, it's really because males have communication barriers. Your brains are not wired the same. You don't have the same capabilities as women. So you all's communication abilities are not nearly as strong as women. So y'all don't even really know how to convey to a woman to a way that she will really understand what you're going through. She can't see it, and y'all don't know how to explain it. The thing with me is I can see both sides. See, I'm not on men's side and I'm not on women's side. I'm on the truth side. And I can see men and I can see women. And because women have the womb and women are the mothers and they are the first teacher of the child. The fact of the matter is that the majority of the weight does lie on women. Women just don't realize it because women think that they're the same as men. Now men know because you all don't have the power that women have. And so it comes to a place where people are blinded by their privilege. Privileged people don't know that they have privileges. So the people who don't have the power that other people have, they can feel the effects. They know the differences. So women are completely blinded by the privileges they have. They're completely blinded by the power they have. And the issue comes down to women truly believe, males and females actually think alike, but in different ways. So I'll give it to you like this. So I was a major I majored in cell and molecular biology, and one of my classes was physics. And we went over Newton's laws of motion. And we all know that the third law of motion is, for every reaction, there's an opposite equal reaction, right?
Right.
So the way my physics teacher broke it down, he actually made it a little bit more detailed. And he said, if body A imposes a force on body B imposes a force on body A that is equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. So in other words, when two things clash, hit head on, the force is equal, it's the same, and it moves backwards in the opposite direction at the same magnitude. So if it travels 10 feet to the left, it's also going to travel 10 feet to the right. So what's happening with men and women are just like these vehicles. They're clashing. They're doing the exact same things to each other, and they don't realize it. Both the male and female, they approach relationships with a slave and slave owner mentality. So women actually believe that men were created to serve them. Women believe that men were put on this planet to serve and worship them and work for them. Women believe that a man is to go to work and work his fingers to the bone until he dies so that she can have a soft life and just ride easy. Women really believe that.
But not only do they believe it, the men work towards that though.
And that's where men are frustrated at. And the reason why they're frustrated is because men are ruled by their sex drive. A lot of women don't understand that sex is a real need for men, to the point where women think that men just want sex all the time. They don't understand that a lot of times it's more of a need as opposed to a want. So men find themselves unconsciously chasing women, and they feel like they're being punished for chasing these women, and they are being taxed for their biology. Men feel like they are being taxed for their biology. So women realize this. So this is where the men who might have access to women, this is where they start calling these men simps, because they are led by their biology, and they start to placate to the delusions of the woman and her power-hungry self. And so when a man falls for that, other men don't respect that, because it's like you not being a man and having self-control, you letting this woman manipulate your biology for that. See, this is where the conflict come in.
Right.
Right? So this, all I do is this is my thing. I really sit down here and analyze and understand what's going on. Women don't understand the male world at all. So for me, I'm just a conduit. I can communicate the male issues to women who actually want to be better people. Can
we talk about, let's say, the top 3 male issues that you have to usually communicate to women?
Lord have mercy. The number one thing is the stress that men have to deal with in the world that is not the same as women, okay? Because women really have it in their mind that men are not being trained. They're just not being taught how to communicate. They're not being taught how to feel. Women really think that this is an educational difference between men and women as opposed to a neurological and biological difference. They don't understand that. So they don't understand that the male has a threshold of what he can handle and what he cannot handle. So women don't understand that they're placing an enormous amount of pressure and weight on men that exceed the capabilities of males by nature, which is part of the reason why so many males fail, because by nature, males are not social creatures. The male's nature is designed in the wild to spend all his time and energy trying to build himself up to be a competitor against other men, to conquer them, to win the reward of being able to pass his genes along. And as a result of that, the male is not wired to be a caretaker. He is not wired to be, quote unquote, social and family oriented. He's not wired to be monogamous. So you now take this person out of a individual where he has to be really solo. You take him out of a solo, one man, every man for himself environment, and put him in a social system, and now tell him to do everything that goes against how he's wired. From thoughts, behaviors, sex, everything. It all goes against the male's nature. And then the women, because women hate self, I figured out women hate themselves and they hate other women. So because of that, because women do not have camaraderie amongst themselves, they have no loyalty amongst themselves, and they have no support amongst themselves, they have abandoned their relationships with their true supporters that could help them in child rearing and everything. And they look to men to replace women and take on the duties of women. That's what they're doing. And so they're trying to put so much weight on men being caretakers, helpers in the house, making all this money, competing with other men. But it's messed up because women also inhibit male development by coddling males too much, stepping in and handling conflict for males to the point where they can't integrate socially, they can't be competitors. So the male is really hindered. Then when he gets into a relationship, he's not been able to juggle all of this stuff. And since the women are narcissistic and don't know anything about males, the woman is only caring about what's good for her, what she wants. He's not doing what she wants him to do, so he's failing.
Right.
Right? Yeah. So this is where all the conflict comes in. And the men are not going to be the ones to change this. It's going to be the women to change it, because the male can only do so much. He has a threshold. And this is the part that women don't understand, which is the reason why I started this educational process with learning men.
Well, do you also, because I can see the value of you actually mentoring the men about women. Do you happen to do that?
Yes, if they ask.
Got you, okay.
You know, because we got to understand, men don't respect women. Let's just keep it a buck, right? Men do not respect women. They don't respect the intelligence of women. And I understand to a degree, because women are very, very delusional and they don't know anything. You can take a woman with a PhD. She can have a medical degree. She can have money in the bank. But this woman is totally ignorant when it comes to relationships. Played, she will fall to her emotions and still not be able to see anything clearly. And knowing that women do not understand males and what makes a male, she can't have any logical or rational feedback that can actually help a male on anything really in his life. So this is why men ultimately don't respect women, because they know that women don't know anything about them. And then on top of that, because women make terrible decisions when it comes to sex and things like that, the men can't trust them there, right? It makes sense. And then on top of that, if a man wants to knock you down and just smash you, he ain't trying to hear nothing you got to say anyway. So there's 3 layers of why men ain't listening to women. So I don't talk to men. I don't teach men nothing unless they genuinely want my help. Otherwise, I don't got nothing to say to them, really.
Right. I was going to say this. I feel like it's a bag there to be made. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. But I got to ask you this, right? What do you see as the biggest misconception society has about women's ability to lead compared to men? Because we just had Kamala Harris, right, versus Trump. And we got a guy, again, I'm just outside looking in. We got a guy that's a felon that openly racist or says racist thing, has incited a riot. Like, he's just clearly not the best candidate for the job. So how is it that, you have a black woman, quote unquote, say what you will, but she sounds more qualified. She's actually already the vice president. Like, what is the misconception about this?
I don't really think there's a misconception when you look at the state of just women. Right? Because you got to think about this. Women don't care about male issues. And men are cracking right now. They under a whole lot of pressure, and nobody's listening to people like Jordan Peterson, the women specifically. Now the men listening to them, but you got Jordan Peterson out here saying stuff. You got Scott Galloway out here saying things. And these are all men's issues where men are on the brink of just blowing up, and women they don't care. As a matter of fact, the women are doing things that are triggering these men to make things worse. And it's like nobody's hearing these males' issues. So men, as they see that women don't care about what's going on with them, and they steady pushing these philosophies, messing up the children, these different sexualities and all this, they see it as being illogical, which a lot of it is, right? And the women can't see clearly. The women can't even handle their own lives. They can't make good decisions for their own lives, let alone a country, okay? Then you have ratchet 304 type women endorsing.
That was a mistake.
That was a big mistake. Why are you getting entertainers, these types of entertainers at that, right, to speak to the demographic? That tells you the mentality of the demographic that you're appealing to, which the average person sees as delusional, reckless, and the problem in society. Do you think they're going to vote for you? That is you know what I mean?
That's a good point. And I even heard like a podcast where some black men felt that it was almost disgraceful. Like this is what you think of us. That This is what you have to go do to get the black vote. Yeah. Versus just speaking to us like human beings. Mm-hmm.
Because it is disrespectful. Because at the end of the day, just check out all of the presidents that wanted to appeal to black folks, and what did they do? It was all entertainment. Why did they like Clinton? Because Clinton was smoking weed and playing the saxophone, and he was getting head in the office.
Right.
Hot sauce in my bag swag. Dab on them. This all you gotta do. And so now you get this woman, when we are in a new age and things are getting really bad, and you up against Donald Trump, a white man, listen, you're gonna have to really show because at the end of the day, a man is a man, and they will choose a man before they choose a woman, especially when you keep showing that you have no logic and no rationale behind what you're doing, because the things that the people are having a problem with, you're showing to be exacerbating them. You're showing that you're gonna make this even worse. So now it's a lesser of two evils things. And they'll rather go with what they know as opposed to going with something that they see is going to take them down the path they already are complaining about. They don't want to go down.
That's deep. This whole election was strange. Do you think now that Trump is president, right? We just got to accept it. I don't know what side you land on. I'm not going to ask you that. But now that we're here, do you think anything will change, right, for you specifically? Because it does seem like he does have, you see him talk about the abortions. You see him talk about deporting. Like, he's just very straightforward and almost scary in a sense that if you're on the other side.
Well, see, for me, because I understand that, when it comes to government and politics, you got layers. The most influence you ever gonna have is on your local political level, right? So the grassroots is where all of the power and the change really happen. It's not so far away like that. So people concerned about this abortion thing. Okay, the part that I see the problem with is if you're not making exceptions for incest, rape, and all of this, you're giving men a pass to do whatever they want to do with no consequence. That's on one side of the equation. But then the other side of the equation, which is where I've been teaching, I'm teaching you the nature of men. And I done showed you what men are about. So the onus is on you to close your legs. But see, women have a problem where they want to be whores. I'm coming to see. I see why men think the way they think about women. Women want to be whores. They want to be sexually reckless. They want to do this. Nobody has to beg them. Nobody has to force them. They're wanting to do this. Because they, and this is what I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. Women are out here saying that, oh, you need to trick on me, you need to take me, and you need to spend this money. And I'm coming to realize, wait a minute, hold on. Ma'am, you want to screw him more than he want to screw you. You can't wait to give up the box. You have a million reasons why you have sex. You jump from penis to penis just because you want to get revenge. Your way of getting revenge is to sleep with a man for free, another one. Your way of getting to try to prove that you better than another woman is to sleep with a man, to have sex. Your language is sex. If you want to take a flight, you have sex. If you want to get a promotion, you have sex. If you want to feel loved, you have sex. If you want attention, you have sex. But you want somebody to pay you for sex. No, the cost for sex is attention. That's all you need is attention and penis. Because if you tell a woman to close her legs and stop having sex, she'll act like you're trying to kill her. So the question now becomes, is why do you want to get paid for sex when that's all you want to do? That's how you communicate, through sex. Because this abortion thing, outside of the stuff that I already done said, this abortion thing wouldn't really be messing with you if you didn't want to have sex, if sex didn't rule your life. So now this is they're upset because they can't do what they want to do and now be held accountable and responsible for their life. Because see, women get to evade consequence. Women get to throw stones and hide their hand and then point the finger at men for everything. Women do not want to be held accountable. See, now this ain't never been me. Because see, I'm ex-military. I'm ex-military. I've been on my own practically all my life. So this accountability thing, this ain't never been no issue for me. I didn't realize it was really this big of an issue for women. But women do throw stones and hide their hand. And they get to evade consequence by blaming it on men. And they get to get out of pregnancies. And it's so funny because women want to say that that birth control should be made for men. And I'm like, no, birth control was made for the right gender. Because see, that's your womb. You got the power to say no. But no, you want to have sex as recklessly as you want to. And that's not even your nature as a woman. That's the thing. See, the nature of a male is sex. His whole existence, biologically, is to fight to get opportunities to pass his DNA across as many females as possible. That's his whole life goal on a biological level. The life goal of a female is not that. A female don't have to do all of that to get no sex, to pass her genes along. She don't have to. Her job is to pick quality. So she's supposed to be turning down most men, and she don't supposed to be open all season like that. But women want to be open all season like that. They want to be able to have as much sex as they want to and act on their desires. This is your desire. Your desire is to have sex. Your desire is to do this. So now that you want to do this and you invite a man to participate with you, it's now no longer your responsibility. You want to blame him for everything. But why do you desire what you desire? Right? See, the men will agree with that, but they won't agree with women actually closing their legs. See, they don't agree with the things that would lead the women to close their legs, which is the beginning of all of my teachings, to teach the truth about the male in order to get women to clank, clank.
But can we acknowledge if a man got up here and said the exact same thing you just said, they would label him misogynistic?
Of course they would, because like I said before, women don't listen to men. Women think that men were created to serve them. So if you ain't serving them, they don't want to hear nothing you got to say, because at the end of the day, women think that this is we need to teach males to do this. Women want men to be women. Women want society to transform a male into a female. Women hate women. Women hate each other. But they want to get a man and then make him embody all of the characteristics of a woman.
Right.
That's what they want to do.
Yeah, it's just confusing.
So it all makes sense. Trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, wanting your cake and eat it too. I think all of that had everything to do with women. Coming up with these things had everything to do with trying to figure out what a woman wants, because women want it all. And that's how marketing has been directed to women, to give women the illusion that you can have it all. To even think that you can have it all, that is a sign of narcissism. It's a sign of greed. Women want the world to revolve around them, each and every last woman. Women want their own man. They don't want to share the men, even though that is the more logical way that things would actually work out. Women don't want to do that, even because that's not the nature of a man, to be stuck with one person. But the woman wants to stick that man to one person, which is her, which is to take men away from their own reality, make men go against their own nature and trap him with her.
Right.
And she don't care about what you going through, what you thinking, how you feel, as long as you serving her. That's where this thing, happy life, happy wife, happy life come
right.
from. It's total narcissism.
So wouldn't you say that? So wouldn't you say that men have been manipulated just as much as women have been?
Both sexes have been manipulated and sold a lie. Patriarchy, just because it's patriarchy, don't mean that men benefit from this. Actually, men are suffering a great deal from this, right? Women are suffering, and it's only a small few people that's making a boatload of money off of all this dysfunction, because this is dysfunctional. And both parties have been lied to, both the male and the female. And they both have unrealistic expectations of each other. But the reason why they stuck together is all because of sex. It's sex. And so men and women think they need to be together because of their sexual desire. But men and women are not compatible. They're opposites. If body A imposes a force on body B imposes a force on body A that is equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. They're clashing.
But every now and then you'll see that couple, right? And I've experienced this now with my fiance, where they just click. It's like them two just belong together. You ever seen that couple where you're like, damn, they just are perfect for each other? So what is that, right?
Very, very rarely. I've only met one. And this was a white couple. And the thing about it is, like, it was like they could finish. It's almost like they was twins. Like it was almost like they was twins.
Right.
But with that, it has to be something totally of the mind. It's not of the body. It's not of the body. And a lot of people do not want people that don't fit their stereotypical idea of beauty, attraction, or anything, right? So that's a very, very, very rare occurrence.
I haven't seen it a lot either, but I have seen it.
When it comes to men and women, that's just very rare. So, you're always gonna have your anomalies and exceptions to the rule, right? 10-year-olds are in the 5th grade. But that ain't saying that you don't see no 10-year-olds with no PhDs. But we not looking at 10-year-olds with PhDs and then expecting every other 10-year-old to do it and be like, what's something wrong with you because you can't do it? I know a 10-year-old that got a double master's. Okay? Those are prodigies. That's what you call a prodigy. That's what you call an anomaly. Okay? Right? So you will have those, right? But the general rule is men and women ain't compatible. Oil and water don't mix, ain't never mixed. The problem is we trying to mix oil and water and force it to be together. So now you have this endless fight between men and women. And somebody gonna have to give up something. If the male gives up, if the male plays to the woman's rules, that male is gonna suffer. He's going to suffer. He's not going to feel free. He's going to be forced to sleep with one woman. And we know, listen, I don't know nobody in here eating the same thing every single day. If you call yourself meal prepping, you're going to be bored with that shit by the third day. But
we're seeing the relationships evolve. We're seeing men have women and get married to another woman. We're seeing men and women that have open relationships. We're seeing people live non-traditional now.
Hold on, yeah. But these people are still not doing what they want to do. You'll have people that are open a relationship only because they don't want to lose the person. They still want to stay attached to them. So they'll agree to something that they really ain't rocking with, right? Just so that they can stay attached or keep that person in their life, right? So you might see people getting married, but the reason behind the marriage matters, right? So like, you got these content creators, all on this soft life stuff or whatever. And I just did a show yesterday because it's this chick that, she was trying to do this soft life, this, gold digging type of thing. And
Okay.
she called herself marrying this quote unquote high value dude that's supposed to be taking care of everything. Well, guess what happened? She found out that that man was essaying her 2-year-old and 4-year-old daughter.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, people getting married, but what you getting married for? And who are you marrying? People don't even know who they dealing with. These people don't understand. They do no study. No, people do not understand human psychology. And not only do they not understand human psychology, they don't even understand the psychology of the opposite sex that they're trying to be involved with. They don't understand the motivations behind people's actions, right? Because everybody's moving based on sexual desire. No stable relationship or partnership can be built on sex. If you build your house on quicksand, that's like building a house on quicksand. Building on sexual desire, listen, you're not finna keep a man's sexual attention after a certain period of time. You're just not finna do it. It's gonna get old.
Well, I don't know. Well, for some people, right, they thrive in, because, you know, when you're out here singing, you just doing it. It's like you rolling the dice. This shit might be good, it might not be good.
Mm-hmm.
And you might, you know, but when you have somebody that you know, like, I feel like you could take it to deeper levels than you can if you just out here just having cash.
Well, you can, because see, now you're talking about intimacy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
However, most people are in relationships with liars. Most people are in relationships who can't even be with people who can't be honest with themselves. See, intimacy is not about sex. Intimacy is about closeness. And in order to be close to somebody, you have to explore the depths of that person's soul. You have to be able to explore the depths of that person's mind. And you have to be trusted to be able to hold that information and nurture that person. Well, one thing is, people can't be trusted. You really can't even trust the person that you're with. Because what do people do when you let them into your world? They find things that they
find
can
all
hold.
the flaws.
They try to find flaws, and then what they want to do, they want to hold it against you and use it as a weapon,
Right,
to hurt you.
right.
Right? This is one of the reasons why men don't even trust women, because men know once a man get burned by a woman, you scar that person for life, because they learn through experience, right? And women are notorious for finding information that they can blackmail and use to hurt a person with, right?
Right.
Because they want control.
Right.
They want to own. Right? And if she feel like she's hurt, she wants to go low. She wants to go as low as she can to blow you. Right? So how can you truly be intimate with people who have to tell themselves a lie? They can't face their own demons. They have to pretend to be something that they're not, and then they can't even trust you. Yeah. Ain't no real intimacy there.
No,
it's not.
Fact. So speaking of all that, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, and you can stop me if you don't want to touch on it, but you know, it's on YouTube. So.
Oh yeah, no, I know you was gonna ask.
Yeah.
I just waiting on it, because I was waiting. I was like, damn, is he gonna ask me? I'm waiting. Go ahead.
But you know, because I just, you know, you're so knowledgeable. I just be wanting to pick your brain on stuff. But you know, we have was it Baylor TV or
you ain't got to say a name, but you messed it up and good. You messed it up.
Yeah. Quote unquote your ex.
Yeah.
You know, she threw shots at you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She basically said you groomed her into a relationship, which is the wildest shit I've ever heard. How do you groom somebody into a relationship? But anyway, and she basically threw just a lot of different accusations at you. You know what I'm saying? Basically saying you're a fraud. You know, and things like that. So what do you have to say about the quote unquote you're a fraud? Because I did start seeing people start commenting, oh, I watched this video and I don't look at her the same. I've seen people actually react to that. And again, me and you talked off camera, and we said it's never about the truth anymore. It's about who can tell the best story. And sometimes the people that can tell the best story can actually control the minds of the people.
Correct.
Which then will have the people turning on you. And you know, we're public figures, right? You're out here, you're doing your thing, you know what I'm saying? You're preaching your message, and then something like this hits you. Number one, are you okay? Like when things go public about something so intimate, we wear it, you know how it goes. We wear it, but that shit does hurt. Like somebody that you actually fuck with, somebody that you actually pour time and energy into to go online and make accusations, that hurts.
It hurts. So here's the thing. See, she didn't like the fact that I'm not as emotional as her. Her whole goal was to try to hurt me however she could. So she was the type of person that I just could not mentally handle. I couldn't mentally withstand the stuff that she was putting me through. So I actually broke up with her in January, right? And so we had been broken up for 4 months, but I'm the type of person that's like, we can remain friends. We don't have to be together. It don't have to be no beef, because I ain't never done nothing to you. I ain't never done nothing but try to be a good friend to you.
Right.
But she was putting me through a lot of hell. She was suicidal. She would always talk about being suicidal, that she had these dark thoughts. She would even tell me that she would see demon faces. Like, she was really going through some mental stuff, right? And she was really causing me a lot of pain. And like, I was physically hurting me. I couldn't deal with her. And so I broke up with her in January. And fast forward 4 months later, she thought it was a game, that I would not move on. Well, she found out that I moved on with someone else after 4 months. 4 months after we broke up, I finally moved on. Right. And I'm still with my current girlfriend that I moved on with. When she found out that I actually moved on, I was on a TikTok live talking about my new book that I had just created. Okay. She came in the comment section and she started doing some hoorah stuff. And she, in the comment section, because I was telling the people, I said, y'all might hear that I date women or whatever. You just got to understand, I ain't trying to get with you. I got somebody, I'm cool. And she come in the comment section and she say, yeah, she dating somebody in her book club. So I turn around, I see that, and I'm like, yeah, I'm dating somebody in my book club. My moderator saw her and immediately blocked her because she started crapping the comment section. She calls me while I'm on live and starts screaming and hollering at me. Why you block me? I'm like, my hand ain't even on the camera. I didn't block you. Yes, you did, screaming. And I mean, she's screaming at the top of her lungs. Why would you tell them that you moved on? Why would you tell them? Because, you know why? Because she was a struggling content creator. And so she had had a breakup with her baby daddy. Now, so she got 2 different baby daddies, and she ain't with neither one of them, right? And so she broke up online with her second baby daddy. So
that wasn't a red flag for you?
Huh? No.
Okay. This was before?
No, this is what she's doing.
Gotcha.
Right. So because she broke up online, she tells me this, and she sent it to me in a text message. I don't want to look like a fool. I already broke up and had a terrible breakup online. I don't want to look like a fool. So what she was trying to do is make me look bad, right? By trying to make it seem like I was, because she didn't want to now have 2 baby daddies and then be broken up with a woman. She didn't want the public to see that a woman had broke up with her. So what she was trying to do is beat somebody to the punch. And I'm like, I done left you alone. I even sent her to her job. I sent her like a bouquet of fruit to say that we don't have to be enemies or nothing. We can be friends. Right. Man, they flipped that to be negative. She's narcissistic and gaslighting. Why would you send her fruit to her job? And so she told me one time, like when I had broke up with her, I had broke up with her one time before, and then I messed around and we had got back together. But during this little period of time where I had broke up with her, I was on live and doing things, and she gonna tell me, I felt some kind of way because I'm over here hurting and I'm over here crying, and you just online smiling like ain't nothing wrong with you. So she didn't like the fact that she couldn't get to me emotionally. So her way of thinking that she was gonna hurt me was to bring my child and smear my child all over the internet to say that I'm abusive. And she did it just because she wanted a response out of me.
Yeah.
And so she have them calling CPS and bringing CPS to my house on a totally fabricated lie. All because you're mad that I broke up with you and moved on with somebody else, and that I wasn't crying and showing signs of emotional instability. That's what all of that was about. And because women hate each other, see, that situation, by her doing that and me seeing the women rally, that opened my eyes to the wickedness of women.
There it is.
That is what opened my eyes to the wickedness of women. And I said, oh.
This is what men have been saying forever.
So women do create stuff and try to destroy a person's life. And if you're seen as the stronger person, women will weaponize their perceived weakness and play the victim. They throw rocks and hide their hand, and that, because I had never done that. So I didn't realize that women ain't like me.
There it is.
I didn't realize that women were not like, now I experienced a lot of the same things that women was experiencing at the hands of men.
Right, but you never been on the other side.
But I've never been on the other side because I wasn't doing to men what these women be doing.
Right, so just to pause real quick, right? So when men in the past were telling you about something, because I've watched great dads. Mm-hmm. I've watched women get online and say that they weren't great dads and seen people rally behind it, and it's like a total lie. I've seen a lot of wild things that have happened, right? I've seen people get stabbed, shot behind a woman, and all kind of different shit. So when you were on the other side of it, did that then start making you change your philosophy or updating it a little bit? I
still didn't change my philosophy because the philosophy is the same. But what I realized is that I already knew women had issues and that they needed to be helped. But I realized how deep the problem really is. I realized, let's say this is where women need to go. And this is the absolute bottom that a woman can be at. I thought that women might have been right here. I thought they might have been right here and they just needed some help to get here. But after that, I realized that women down here, instead of me thinking they were here, needing to go here, I see that they're here instead. That they're worse than what I had originally thought.
Right, because I feel like if a man's ugly, he says to himself, well, I got to get money.
Yeah.
Or if a man lacks in something, he knows, it's like he's very self-aware where he has to improve. Mm-hmm. And I can't speak for women, so I don't know what that is. But does that happen for women? Like if you have a deficiency, do they know where they need to improve?
The women don't know. They're totally oblivious. Now, I've been very successful in getting women to see themselves.
How?
You would literally have to watch my interaction with them, because I do TikTok live.
Right.
And this is where I can really, really interact with women, and there's a show, okay? You can hear it because I did some call-ins. I did a show called A Wife Equals a Hoe, Pimps Up, Hoes Down, on my YouTube channel. And I showed women that you might be a wife, but you got the mind of a hoe. All women are whores. Here. And I took a 1984 documentary of a pimp with some hoes that work on the blade. And it was a 27-minute documentary. And we analyzed that, and I say, now tell me, what's the difference between the mentality of a wife and a hoe? It's identical. I mean, it's identical. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I mean, the quote unquote bottom bitch was taking family pictures with the pimp. Like, you wouldn't have been able to tell that this wasn't a hoe working the blade. I mean, they sitting around in the family circle, opening up presents and taking the baby to christening. I mean, it's a carbon copy mentality. I was able to get women to see all of their screwed up mentality. And a lot of women was calling, damn, I was a hoe. I was fucking up. Damn, I was a narcissist. I was abusive in my relationship. I can get women to it. I can get women to see themselves in a way that can't nobody else do it. Not none of these femininity coaches, not none of these gurus. I got a way of being able to communicate to women, and I can do that and make women come to the conclusion that I was wrong. I was wrong. Oh man, I see where I fucked up my relationship. I can get women to do that. Who you know can get a woman to say I was wrong? Right? So, because at the end of the day, I think as humans, we are very destructive as humans. We tearing up the planet. We tearing up the world. Humans are a very destructive species. And we tear up each other, we destroy our children, we destroy our communities. It's like everything we touch as human beings, we destroy it, we kill it.
Right.
And so my thing is about getting people to be self-aware. But women have the ability of self-reflectiveness. Men do not have the capabilities that women think they have. Like, it's scientifically proven. Men do not have a strong ability for reflectiveness.
So let me ask you this, right? In the woman on woman dynamic, right? Because
Yes.
we're speaking, because even when I looked at that dynamic, it almost felt like you were the man in this situation. She was the woman, because the way that it played out on the internet, it was like stuff that she was accusing you for was like, yo, this is just her trying to show her appreciation. She's doing this and you're taking it this way and you're flipping it, right?
Yeah.
So when you experience something like that, right? Men, when they're pouring their heart out to a woman and it doesn't work out, they might go one of two ways. They might go full savage and don't trust nobody.
Right.
Or they might just say, hey, it is what it is. I'm going to just keep being me. When you experience that, right, which direction did you end up?
I'm going to keep being me, but I evolved because I've been around men for a long time.
Right.
I didn't really grow up just hanging around chicks, girls. So I had a limited experience with women, right? Most of my associates have always been males. I've been in the military 8 years, car sales. Like I played football. I ran track. I played basketball. I was on rifle team. Like, I've been immersed in male-dominated things. I've dated men, I've worked with men, and I've been associates with men. Limited contact with women and girls. I can count on one hand how many female friends that I've had. And the female friends that I've had in my life, three of them, just friends. We still close. And these are friends that I had since middle school and high school, right?
Right.
Okay, so everybody else, even when it comes to dating women, not only because I'm dating women, this is really a real new experience being involved with women, whether it's friend or relationship.
Yeah.
So I'm really learning something because even though I'm a woman, right, I don't function and operate like the typical woman.
Right.
But in my mind, I'm thinking, because I'm a woman, that we similar. But we're really not, right? And so I started to learn some things with these women that I decided to date. Now, the first two was cool. The first lady that I dated, she was she's an RN, and she's Somalian. She was a Scorpio though, and I'm an air sign, and she was real possessive, and she was kind of hard-headed too. Like, we'll be having a conversation, and it's like she'd be having her own conversation. Like, things will go in one ear and out the other, and she'll be having a conversation that we ain't even we're not talking to each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was the craziest thing, and I realized that wasn't gonna work for me, but we still cool. It wasn't no messed up thing.
Right.
The second woman, she was Mexican Filipino. She was real cool, soft-spoken, really, and we still cool now. Wasn't nothing there with us, no issues there with us. It was just that, you know, for me, I guess you can say I have more of a male energy, or more of a masculine energy about myself. I'm really adventurous and things like that. For her, you know, she just like her little cats, and she like doing her little makeup and stuff, and she just real calm. Like, it's just like still water. And she had a lot of personal things in her family that she had to go and take care of. So, you know, we still communicate here and there, but it was nothing bad. Her, the internet chick.
Right.
This one was chaotic.
Right.
She made me realize, wow, man, she's the type of person that will make a man say, I'm finna be savage on every female. She that one. She's that one.
If you were to guess a percentage of how many women have ran into that type of woman.
How many men have run into that type?
If you were to take 10 men, how many men do you think have dated that type of woman?
Shit, I'll say 10. I'm gonna say 10.
So do you now kind of understand, like, just the male perspective on a lot of relationships, or why they don't want to be in them, or why they don't want to?
Well, see, prior to this, I was already talking about this, right? Because I was talking about it because if you went back and listened to me at any point, I was always breaking down the male neurology, the male biological.
For sure.
I was always breaking that down.
But I feel like right now, men are they're gonna receive this way better. I don't know what it is. It just seems like you've tailored it more towards, or palatable for a man to kind of ingest it and say, I feel you. Mm-hmm. Like, I just feel like that's gonna happen with this. Like, the stuff you're saying, you've been saying it. Mm-hmm. But for whatever reason today, it sounds a lot more lenient on the man, where a man doesn't feel attacked, if that makes sense. Well,
because here's the thing. Nobody likes to hear the truth about themselves.
That's true.
Women ain't gonna like this. Because see, here's the thing. It's three sides to every story. It's his side, her side, and the truth, right? Yep. So I'm always looking to tell the truth. But when y'all first came to me, right, I was on the first level, because to me, this has always been a phase thing.
Got you.
It's always been in phases. I'm a woman. I've married a man, I've dated men, I've been around with men, I've worked with men, the whole nine. So my experience with men as a woman, if I'm teaching women's empowerment and I come to some things, enlightenment about the issue, because women have their whole identity wrapped up in men. A woman's identity is centered around a man, and women don't know nothing about men. And I'm about making the planet a better place, okay? Right. And I understand that this all starts with women.
Right.
In order to empower somebody, you have to tell them about the other half of the equation, right? Because in order to get women to make better choices, don't women need to know better? To know better is to do better, right? Ignorance is the root to all evil.
Right.
Right? So I started out teaching about men. It was never, and I've said this even at the beginning of my channel, this ain't something that I just came, I've always said this. This ain't gonna stay talking about men.
Right.
I got to talk, I have to tell about men.
Right,
I can't leave them out of the equation. Right. But after that's done, we gotta look at the woman now. It was always gonna come to the woman. It was never not, because how can you teach empowerment without accountability and responsibility? There's no possible way that you can do this. Remember, I got commissioned in the military as an officer.
Right.
How can I teach leadership and accountability, leadership and empowerment without accountability? So my goal was never to position women as some type of victim, because I'm a woman and I ain't never been no victim. Yeah, have things happened to me? Yes, but do I have the power to change the course of my life? Yes, right? And if I'm being honest, if I knew then what I know now, would half of the stuff that I've been through with men ever even happened? The things that I've been through with men would have never happened had I known then what I know now. And so what I'm saying is that's the same thing about women. Women are inadvertently placing themselves in situations that they don't have to be in.
Makes sense.
Because of ignorance.
Right.
So I started there. And now that I'm speaking about men, everybody wants somebody to take their side.
Right.
When men hear me talking about, and they know that what I'm saying is the damn truth, they know it. But because it's the truth, don't nobody want to face the shadow side. Nobody likes to hear the truth about themselves. Now, when this come out, women gonna have a problem.
Yeah, they're gonna call you a pick-me.
They're gonna call me a pick-me, but here's the thing. You can't call me no pick-me because I don't want no man. I don't want to be picked by no man. I make my own money. I date a woman. I got a girlfriend. I don't want penis, right? So my motivation for saying this is not because I want to be picked or applauded by no man. I'm saying it because it's the truth. I'm saying it because it's the truth. And the truth shall set you free. And if we could accept the truth about the differences between men and women, and if we could accept that as humans, we are full-on narcissists. We are full-on people who got God complexes, who believe that the other sex is supposed to serve them as opposed to the planet, as opposed to the creator. We all trying to control each other with sex, money, and materialism to make them bow to our will. That's the truth of what's happening between both sexes. And I don't want to be with either one of them. Most of these women wouldn't even be qualified to be with me. They wouldn't, because I have a standard of behavior. And it's just some stuff I'm not tolerating. When I deal with women, I'm not dealing with you because I want sex from you. I'm not a man. I don't have a phallus that needs to get wet. I don't have DNA that I just have to pass along, or I feel like I haven't achieved my life goal and I won't have a legacy. I don't have that. So with a woman, I understand that birds of a feather flock together. Like attracts like, oil and water don't mix. So if I want a harmonious dealing with somebody that's on my wavelength, it would have to be a woman. But I'm not choosing you because I just need to have sex with you. I'm choosing you because I believe that we have a like mind. I believe that we might share similar interests and we might have similar goals. And that I believe that women are the community. By women fighting and competing against each other, it's tearing up the community. It's tearing up the world. So if I'm gonna be with a woman, hey, I got standards for myself that I'm holding myself to. And I'm not gonna allow you to fall below these standards that I have for myself. And if you can't rock and roll with that, then I can't be with you. And that same thing went for men. But see, men want to dominate. See, they want a woman to be submissive. They don't want a woman that they appear to be as strong as them, because instantly they going into competition mode. I got to show you I'm the man. I don't want you out achieving me. I don't got time for that. I don't, right? Man or woman.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No,
so
I feel you. I understand, but like, you know, it's crazy, right? Because I want to take it back to this. What do you say to those people that seemingly unfollowed you or lost faith in you because of that video that came out? What do you say to them?
I don't say nothing to them because here's the thing. If it takes just one lie, because look, you got people following people like R. Kelly. You knew R. Kelly, what he was doing. That didn't stop you from following him. And you didn't need, even with proof and video, that didn't matter to you. But women hate each other to the core. And you don't have to do nothing as a woman. You do anything, an allegation, she already don't like you anyway. All she needs is one little thing to make her turn against you, because women are already enemies. So all I see is you were not ready to go in the direction that I'm going. You're not on that frequency, because it don't take nothing. That girl didn't produce no evidence. Not an ounce of evidence did she produce. And people believed everything she said without question.
What did that teach you about the world?
That let me know it's when it comes to strength, the person who is the strongest is always at fault, no matter what. And so that's why men are upset, because men are naturally physically stronger than women. And just by you physically being stronger than a woman will weaponize weakness and tears and be full on lying. And people will believe her, because people like victim stories.
Right.
Everybody likes a victim story.
Everybody.
Right? And so what it showed me, because then my girlfriend showed me, because I don't really watch TV and I don't watch movies. My attention's like, I'm so in another world now, like I don't have the patience to sit and watch movies like I used to and stuff. So she showed me Avengers. She had to go through, I had to watch it in 15 minutes. She just showed me the highlights. And Thanos was actually the good guy. Thanos was the good guy. And they attacked him like he was the villain.
Perspective.
Strong people and righteous people will always be painted as the villain, because the majority of people do not want to look at themselves, and they all want to be victims. And so I don't take that personally, but it taught me something, because if I'm gonna do this, I got to realize what world I'm living in.
Right. Did that make your skin super thick? Yeah. I feel like when things like that happen and you get over it, now you're on a whole different level.
Oh yeah.
It ain't nothing that could bother you at that point.
Yeah.
The worst of the worst and probably didn't happen.
Because here's the thing, a lot of times you can see men coming from a mile away. That girl, she plotted to get near me for the whole purpose was to try to destroy me. She would say stuff like, the manosphere wants me to expose you, but I'm not gonna do that. Princella, keep your daughter offline. You don't know what's gonna happen. I see something bad that's gonna happen. She had been planning that shit the whole time. She'd been planning that shit the whole time because she was a failed content creator. She wanted attention. And she was upset because she had been Just Pearly Things, little white girl that was in the manosphere, ran her, like, Just Pearly Things made her cry all over the internet. Just Pearly Things handled her. And so she was trying to find a way to get her name back in good graces, because she just had so many bad things. And me being a person who believes that, I'm working for women, I'm believing that I can help women, because I was too trusting of women, because I was working on their behalf. But see, I'd already dealt with men. So my quote unquote blind trust for them but because I felt like I was helping women and that I believed that women was actually suffering, that women actually was victims, I come to realize that a lot of women like this pain. They choose this pain. They want to go through the things that they're going through, right? And to have somebody get near me with the intention to destroy me, to make themselves look better, that let me know these women really, they not about this. Women don't want to change. They don't want a better world. They just want men to do what they want them to do. They want men to change. Women don't want to change. Women just want men to change. Women just want to control men. And they don't want to do anything. And so, did that hurt to see so many women? See, because here's the thing, Jeff, it wasn't just her. Because see, if she just would have did that, and the people that I helped, if they wouldn't just took her side just to take her side, it wouldn't have been that bad. But when you bring my child in there and you lie, the CPS worker, they threw that shit out in a week. All the claims, this girl said that my child was underweight, that she wasn't never eaten. They pulled all the medical records, found that was a lie. She told the people that I had a murder-suicide plan to kill me and my child. This is what you, right? These are the lies that she went and told. And so they come to find out all that stuff. That my daughter was dirty. My daughter was getting her hair done. I was paying my daughter get her hair done by a salon, a stylist, every 2 weeks. My daughter's very independent, can make her own food and things like that. Somehow she flipped this into me being neglectful.
And you're always with your daughter. Every
I'm
time you come do it.
always with my daughter.
I've never not seen you with your daughter.
Right. And then when I'm here, I have people with me.
Facts.
And so it's just like to try to paint me out to be a villain, something that ain't never been in my character. Can't nobody who has ever been around me tell you that any of that stuff matched up. Her dad, we co-parent and we real cool, right? They even talk to him, no, I'm not concerned. It's like, we have a great co-parenting relationship. She got 2 baby daddies that she can't even get along with. I got her to help one of her baby daddies out because she saw how I would help anytime that my child's father might have needed help. She saw how I would help. And so she tried to copy what I was doing for her baby dad. Because like, if I needed to go somewhere, and I need her dad to take off because he still work. He still drive trucks. If I need him to take off, I'll pay him for the days that he take off so that he don't miss no money and he can spend time with his daughter, right? That's the type of person I am.
That's loud.
How you turn me into a villain?
Yeah, that's loud.
How you turn me into a villain, right? And so what really made me see it is that all these women that I was helping turned against me for no reason. That's what really did.
That's what hurts.
That's what hurt me.
Right.
When all these women who I was helping turned against me for no reason. None. And one time we was on live. Check this out now. This girl had made me late. This was actually, because she had came down here. This was when I was coming down here to do the other show. And she was making me late to come down here.
Right.
And I say, look, I gotta go fill up and get some gas, right? She wants to go, so I'm on E and we late. She want me to stop at Chick-fil-A so she can use the bathroom. I say, well, we can go, cause we late and I gotta get some gas. You can go, I'm going to a new gas station, you can go use their restroom. Oh, they throw a fit. She throws a fit because I won't make a extra stop so she can go use whatever bathroom she wants to use. Forget that you making me late. Forget that I gotta get gas and I can say we can do one stop. No, she made that a big issue. And guess what the women did? That's your lady. You supposed to stop and do, you supposed to take her to a nice, pretty bathroom. I said, oh, so these women narcissistic. If you think that somebody is the stronger person, since you look at me as a man, because these women are not looking at me as a woman, because the way I carry myself, the way I speak, my assertiveness, these women look at me as a man. Even men look at me as a man. Oh, you a stud, you think you a man, right? So they treat me like one.
Right.
So in their mind, I was supposed to bend over backwards and take her to a special a special place to use the bathroom. To hell with me making a logical decision to do a one-stop shop so we can get on the road. I was the villain then. You're a narcissist. You're a narcissist. Why didn't you take your girlfriend to go use that bathroom? Wow. I say, so this is what they dealing with?
Yes.
This?
Yes.
I say, I'm not getting no relationship to be no doggone slave and to cater to no egos, because women, we supposed to be working together. We supposed to be carrying an equal load here. No, y'all don't want to do that.
Now,
y'all
see, this is why I have the issue. So why is it that a woman will go to a relationship with a woman and be cool with the let's work together, but they get with the man and have the same woman will have a totally different mindset when it comes to a man.
Well, no, because that ain't never been my mindset.
Not you.
Because see, that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm telling her. Because even when I approach relationships with men, in my mind, it's always a partnership.
Okay.
But I find myself doing all the work. I find myself always having to be the bigger person.
Right.
I'm always having to take the higher road. I'm always having to consider other people. Nobody ever considers me, right? It's always a take. So in the dynamics with men,
well, you sound just like us. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Men do themselves a disservice.
Right.
Men do themselves a disservice because they get out here on all these podcasts. A man is supposed to be a giver. A woman is the receiver. We want them feminine and friendly. And we want to give to a certain. Here's the thing. When you say that, you're looking for a woman that's going to take just for you to turn around and complain about it, right?
Yeah, that's right.
There is no you just sit here and you just receive. I don't believe that, right? We're both supposed to function at our highest capability and our full selves, and we bring who we are to the table and all of the gifts that we have. That's where potlucks came from.
Right.
It's okay, she makes some bomb ass macaroni and cheese, so she gonna do the macaroni and cheese. This is your skill. You bring that to the table. But guess what? We'll have a potluck, and guess what? It'll be people that come there just to eat the food. You won't bring nothing.
Right.
Right? This is how people get into relationships. You want somebody to bring all that while you just show up and partake in what they got. No. Because see, for me, I always been a person that can handle my own.
Yep.
Always. I think there's a problem with how America pay people. I really personally believe that everybody should be on commission sales. I do not think that people need to be getting paid by the hour because people are lazy. Right? That's a sense of entitlement. I also think that people should be in the military at least 3 years, right? I think that'll make a better world because too many people ride the clock and have an entitlement. I just show up and I get paid, and they don't produce nothing. They don't do nothing, right? See, I've only worked hourly jobs like at food when I was younger. When I was, in high school, that's the only time I work hourly wage. I've been on commission for a long time. I have to produce. I've always been a producer. And then, being in the military, man, that ain't for the weak.
No.
Especially going to OCS, that's not for the weak, right? So I don't care what nobody say about me. And then living the life that I lived as a woman who didn't have family support, I didn't have nobody to turn to. The only person I could depend on was me. So I don't speak the language of laziness. I don't speak the language of just sitting around and letting somebody else do the work. No, 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 no. So even when it comes to a man, see, men don't like my strength. I'm intimidating to a man because from the point of view of a man, I'm trying to be a man, right? And it triggers competition. Listen, man, I ain't got time for that.
Well, do you think there can be two alphas? Do you think there can be two alphas in a household? Oh.
Yes. Don't you have, listen, think about a company. Don't you have to have a sales manager? That sales manager got to be an alpha. Don't you have to have an operations manager? That got to be an alpha. You have different departments where people have to be a leader in that department. Why can't I be the head honcho in my area? Why you want to be dominating everything? I'm sorry, that ain't that. Because here's the thing. We can work together. The problem is people don't want to work together. They got their ego in the way. I'm the big dog. What I say go. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing, partner. Playboy, we don't even got to do that. We don't even have to do that because I got a lot of goddamn talent. Look what I've done for my own life. I've been on my own for a long time and nobody helped me. Now think about this. As a man, you build some stuff by yourself. Right. You create a company and then you get a woman to come in and she won't have say so. No. And it's the same thing with a woman. Yeah. I'm a woman that built my life. I'll be damned after 38 years, I get some dude come in and tell me what the fuck to do with my life. Right. How to run this, how to do that. No, man. No,
but you can always play the other role, right? You could play the other role where you just get, like men will do sometimes, they'll just get somebody that they know is just a pretty face and they're just going to be there for them and not try to play any type of role other than I'm going to just take care of you. You could play that role if you really wanted to, where you're the dominant and I'm going to just get somebody, a man, and you can, or a woman and boss them up and just have them playing their role.
I would never do that to him. I would never do that for a man.
Right.
I would never do that for a man.
As you shouldn't, but.
Yeah. So that's out the question because as a man, you got your ego in the way, you big dog. No, you're going to have to prove to me you big dog.
But what if he was a big dog in a different area?
No. Then you would see that in his life, right? You would be dominating in that life and you ain't got to dominate me. So here's the thing. You got to have it. You got to show it, right? Because see, here's the thing. It take one to know one.
Right.
Right? Real recognize real. Game recognize game. I'm a leader. I know what the hell a leader look like.
Yeah.
Right? I've been through the trenches. I mean, I got commissioned as an officer. I know what it takes to be a leader. You can't just show up to me, I'm the man, I'm the leader. No, boy, it take one to know one. Real recognize real, and I see it ain't no leader in you. Period. Right? See, that's intimidating to a man. Can't no man deal with me. Can't no man rock with me because as a woman, I would have to cut down all it is to make him feel like the leader. No. Because I'm the type of person that's going to demand that you be one. Fuck your feelings. Right. Fuck your feelings. You going to be one. Yeah. I ain't trying to make you feel like one because you would already feel like one if you were one. Yeah, so me and men, we can agree that we ain't compatible. Okay?
Right.
We ain't compatible.
We'll talk.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. You can call me a man, whatever. You can say that I'm old because I am 38. Hey man, because I'm not out here trying to compete with no young girls.
Right.
I don't need that type of validation. I'm not trying to be no bottom bitch. See, I'm real. I keep it player, right? So. For a woman though, my requirements for a woman is a little bit different because at the end of the day, I'm not in competition with you. Right. This is about us working together. And you don't have to be as dominant as I am, but you have to still be a leader. You still got to be able to have your goals, but our goals have to coincide. We have to be able to work together. Right? And so I feel like that's what I have with my current girlfriend. Everything working out just fine. I think we're a lot more compatible than because when it comes to being with a woman, at this point, it's really more about compatibility than anything. Do we mesh, right? We are the same sex, right? We have the same makeup. Do we have the same mind? Do we have the same direction, right? Because if we got that, right, everything else we could work out. You know what I mean?
It's live. Now talk to me about, you said you have a, what did you have? Something
My
coming up?
workshop,
yes.
right? So I got a workshop coming up December 2nd through the 4th, and it's called Love, Men, and Manipulation Decoded, right? I truly believe that 99% of the people on the planet don't know what love is. And I believe that women were once love, and they embodied this concept, and they fell from grace. I think women have fallen so far from grace, and they are looking for love in all the wrong places, and they don't know how to find it. They don't know how to determine what it is. And so I came up with this framework called the 5 components of love, and I take this concept and I intertwine it and connect it to male neurology and male nature to show that men have far too many barriers to break through to embody this concept called love. They're physically not capable of really embodying this concept. And women are looking for men to get them this, and women don't realize they're trying to squeeze blood out of a turnip. And so this concept, you can also take this concept and see through manipulative behaviors. So I want to be able to help women elevate their minds and their understanding in regards to love, men, and manipulation. So that's something that I got coming up December 2nd.
That's dope. For people who actually want to attend this,
Yes.
Where can they attend this?
Yeah, they can go online because this is going to be held on Zoom.
Got you.
Yes,
Okay.
so they can register for it at thequeenmakerofficial.com/VSL.
That's dope. That's dope. Any other ventures of merch, products? Are you going to another podcast? I like seeing your debates with I love seeing what you're doing. You're out here on the YouTube streets, you're debating people. You're getting in there. You're doing well. Do you have anything else coming up?
At this moment, we're working on putting together an event out there in Houston for Valentine's Day.
Dope.
So this is going to be an event for women who might not have somebody and they don't want to feel alone. And I want to be able to pour back in there to them to show them the love that they can have for themselves, right? And so I'll be educating them on love. I do a workshop, a live in-person workshop, and then we'll have an event, a celebratory event right after that. So it's gonna be a nice weekend.
That's dope. And before we get out of here, what is it that you want to leave the people with? Like, what legacy, what goals are you trying to achieve now that, you keep evolving? Like you said, this is in phases. What is the next phase for you?
So things have to get physical, right? Because everything starts in the mind first, and then you build it in reality. So the goal is to eventually build physical schools, right?
Ooh, okay.
Physical schools. I believe that there needs to be a separation between males and females in education. I believe that the educational system is really doing a disservice to males because we are so caught up on equality that we do not want to acknowledge the differences between male and female neurology. And the way the school systems are set up, it is hurting males and it's creating criminals. It is keeping them unsocialized because you're trying to teach them like you teach little girls.
Right.
And males are very physical, and there needs to be a different type of training. And there needs to be, not only do we need that type of training, we need to understand philosophy and principle. There's really education that needs to be had on how to understand the world. People don't understand the world. And I think that we are so crazy as a society that they playing in our faces now. When it comes to these 50 million different genders, they're playing in our faces at this point. It's a comedy show. And I want to be able to build physical places that could be a prototype for the stuff that I'm teaching that can embody it, right? So that's the next phase, or that's the next step, because I think I've really, really covered male and female dynamics very well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we got to go to education and a physical setup to see how that could actually work in reality.
That's dope. That's dope. Well, I feel like we've been with you through phase 1 through 3.
Yeah.
And I look forward to being with you through the next couple phases. Do you have any shout outs?
Do I have any shout outs? I want to shout out to my girlfriend. Thank you for coming over here with me.
Shout out, hashtag Black
Shout out
Love.
to my baby girl.
Yep, she's here.
And
She's
shout out
definitely
to all of my power players and the people who really do rock with me through thick and thin. Because we could talk about the people who fell off, but what about the people who stuck around?
Right.
What about the people who stuck around? And those are the people who matter the most, because those people did not leave me regardless of what was said.
Then they give you extra thankfulness when that happens, when you just like, oh, you still rock with me. I'll fuck with
Yeah,
y'all.
yeah. They still invest in me. They still support. And, you know, and all of the new ladies that's coming on board, you know, if you stick around, you will evolve. And that's the whole goal. I think it's way past time for humans to evolve. And I do believe that going into this new world, that if humans don't evolve, they're gonna get left behind, you know? So I sure appreciate y'all for having me up here though.
Yeah, you like alumni now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, man. Man, it's always a good talk when we have your knowledge on the couch. I love speaking to you. You know what I mean? Princella, you know, this is the best part. You are a real life street star.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.